Ryan McCaffrey with IGN here, and today I want to share my first hands-on impressions of the Xbox Series X. This video will cover general impressions of the box itself and the controller, along with the performance of backwards compatible Xbox One and Xbox 360 games, as well as the quick resume feature that lets you quickly jump from one active game to another. I'll be covering new and Series X optimized games, as well as overall impressions of the Xbox Series X in future videos. First, a word on the console itself. It is hefty, but in a good way. When you hold it, it feels like a premium $500 thing, for whatever that's worth. When you turn it on, the box makes the same startup chime the Xbox One family of consoles does, and I'm a bit disappointed in that, honestly. I get the consistency, but I'd have liked a new sound. Anyway, while I'm speaking subjectively, I think the Series X also looks very nice in its vertical orientation. It looks bold and assertive in your entertainment center, with the concave, green-tinted vent perforations on the top adding a really nice visual appeal. I can't say the same when it's laying on its side, though. It looks more like a fireplace log that way. More importantly, this thing is quiet. It's almost inaudible when it's idle, and in Red Dead Redemption 2, for instance, it's still pretty quiet with the game running, much more so than the Xbox One X, which gets noticeably louder under full GPU load. We'll see how its acoustics are when I've got new games to put all 12 teraflops to use. It also boots up from an always-on state almost instantly and obviously faster than the Xbox One X. Cold boot 2 is also a lot quicker than the One X, taking about 10 to 12 seconds compared to almost a minute for the Xbox One X. The new controller, meanwhile, is a slight improvement over the stock Xbox One controller. I like the new D-pad and the grip texture on the back handles and triggers, but it still pales in comparison to the Elite version 2 controller, which of course it should for how much the Elite costs. Thankfully, the Elite V2, just like every other Xbox One accessory that doesn't have the word Connect in it, works just fine on the Series X. Let's talk about storage next. It's no secret that game installation sizes are only getting larger, and monthly ISP bandwidth caps are a concern for many gamers, so you'll need to use the Series X's 1 terabyte wisely. To be clear, it's 802 gigabytes of usable space after OS and system files. When you plug in the very pricey $220 Seagate 1 terabyte storage expansion that gives you all the benefits of the internal drive, it adds another 920 gigabytes of usable capacity. A more affordable alternative is to use a cheaper USB 3.1 external hard drive to store the next-gen games you're not playing and just shuttle them back and forth as you want them, sparing yourself the need to re-download them every single time. Besides, transferring between the Xbox Series X's NVMe SSD and a USB 3.1 external drive is pretty quick. Yes, you can play backwards compatible games off of an external drive, but you're going to want to run them from the internal SSD because the loading time advantages are significant. I ran tests with Red Dead Redemption 2, Halo 5, Control, State of Decay 2, Grand Theft Auto 4, Fallout 4. The results varied from better to a lot better. Newer, more performance-intensive games like Red Dead 2 and Control saw the most benefit, but every test I ran yielded a noticeable advantage. Furthermore, I tried out Quick Resume, and Microsoft wasn't kidding around. It works. I like that they even put a little quick resume icon in the upper right corner of the screen to let you know that you won't have to wait for the entire game to load from scratch. But if you're watching this thinking, that's not that quick, allow me to show you an attempt to jump between this same group of games on the Xbox One. Bored yet? Alright, let's move on. In conclusion, though I'm still waiting to play a proper next-gen game that takes full advantage of the Xbox Series X, it's clear that your back catalog will get a boost from the new console regardless of whether or not your favorite game has received any specific Series X optimizations. In fact, the SSD spoils you pretty quickly. I already never want to see my Xbox One X ever again. For more hands-on impressions of the Xbox Series X in the coming days and weeks, stay tuned to IGN.